So my girlfriend, she tells me about this affair that this pastor is engaged in, and that it had been going on for a while, and that it was like common knowledge. So this mistress is literally sitting in the second pew from the front. And like I said, I hadn't noticed her there because one, she's sitting in the second pew from the front. And then two, like sometimes when there was like prayer or altar call, she would like get up and go stand directly in front of him and extend her arms like she was just basking in the glory of the Lord. I was like, okay. And our church was not a conservative church. Like, people did like pray out loud. They would, clap. They would like, speak in tongues from time to time. We would have that. But I did notice that when this particular woman showed up, she showed up with a spirit. She and this other lady that she would come with, they would run around our church barefoot. Now, I'm not saying that that is not a form of worship, but what I am saying is my spirit was disturbed. Okay? And they changed the whole way that, these people that had been going to this church probably for 20, 30 years were worshiping. Now, one may beg to say, well, maybe God was doing something new and he was calling to a higher form of worship. Okay. Put a pin right there. I am very private in my worship approach. Okay. And because my spirit was so disturbed, I would drop my head and I would just begin to pray and meditate. Because they were very insistent of people adopting their form of worship, you had these older women starting to try to run around the church. It was very disruptive, very disruptive. And I would drop my head and I would just kind of pray in my head, like, Lord, just expose what it is what's going on here. And I'm deep in prayer, and I felt someone grab my arm to drag me out of the seat that I was sitting in, from the pew that I was sitting in. And when I tell you that I felt virtue leave my body, I am not exaggerating. When my arm was grabbed, I yanked it like I was trying to break free from a thief. And I knew that it was that lady. Even with my eyes closed, I knew it was that lady. So the pastor is in the pulpit and he is observing all of this. The next Sunday, I'm sitting in church. And out of the clear blue, at the very beginning of service, he comes out of the pulpit and he makes this declaration. And he says something to the effect of, if you don't want to be here, then leave. He said, I don't care if you are a Sunday school teacher, if you drive the van, if you are a trustee, if you help in the kitchen, if you sing in the choir, if what all the ministries that you participate in, I don't care. You can get out right now if you can't get with this program. I gathered my belongings and I walked out the door. So, because I knew he was talking to me. And at that point, I understood that I had became like a liability in his eyes as far as how he was going to try to, reroute this whole relationship that he was entangled in. And I just need to back up just a little bit. When my girlfriend told me, when we were in the cell phone store, and she told me what she told me about the pastor having this affair, we had in our church what we call spiritual mothers, okay? So we would call, either one another Sister Perez, Sister so-and-so, Sister Karen, Sister Judy, Sister whomever. But there were some women, because of their leadership and because of their mentorship, some of those women were, for me included, were considered my spiritual mothers. And I had about 2 or 3 that I would confide anything to. Okay. And they were also a few of the women that I felt would hold leadership accountable in the right way. And I remember telling one of my spiritual mothers about the conversation that I had in the cell phone store. And it was my thought, it was my intention, because she knew the pastor from when he was a kid, when he was a little kid, that she can have this very sensitive conversation with him the right way. Okay? So when I got home and I started processing what had just happened, I thought, oh, I'm going to have to find another church. And the pastor called me. I don't think he called me that night. He may have called me like a day or 2 later. Okay? And when he called me, I was quite surprised. And he called me. Well, I don't know why I was surprised. Because actually, he called me in response to an email that I sent him. And hold that thought.